Hey everyone, this is Jenny Garcia, and this is a process video of my book journal. And I'm gonna be doing week. Oh my god, I'm so used to Project Life. I'm gonna do the month of September, and I'm gonna divide my books. I'm gonna keep the creepy books in another spread, in another layout, and these are books. These two are nonfiction, and the other one is fiction. The colors are a little bit are quite vibrant, a comparison with the others in the next layout that I'm gonna make. And I decided to use my Life Party collection from Damask Love, and I decided to use one of the 12 by 12 papers because if I use my 6 by 8 paper pad, it was gonna face like the wrong direction, so I just used 12 by 12, which is good because I have a lot of 12 by 12 paper, and since I don't do layouts anymore, I don't get to use them that often. So I'm gonna be using my Tombow Mono Air Touch adhesive to glue the paper, and I always get it close to the spine, but not too close because you want it to close correctly and not bend in the middle. So what I do is I close my mini book. This is from Everyday Explorers, and I make sure that it fits in place, and that's when I add more adhesive, and then I cut the excess, which is not too much. I have the spreads for the month of August already in my channel. And I wanted to look for font, some letter stickers that I could use to write September. I also wanted to use a few of the girls in the sticker sheets. And I love how clear this washi, I don't want to call it washi because the material is not washi, it's like a decorative tape. And I wanted to use that one, but I felt like it was going to be too big, or that it was going to like blend with the background too well and you were not going to be able to read it. So I used these OG alpha stickers from Simple Stories. The downside of these stickers is that they are already a little bit, the adhesive is weak. So I suggest, even, if you don't want to put deco tape like I did with this ones, you can add a little bit of adhesive to keep them in place, because I have 30 days of list projects, and now it's a bunch of loose alphas and it's so frustrating because I love that little project, but it might be one of those things that ends in the trash eventually. And I wanted something slightly clear so it didn't cover the letters too much, so I used this flower pattern to put on top of the bottom of those letters. That way I would make sure that the letters wouldn't go anywhere. I'm gonna look through my Pipstick stickers. I have quite a few of these stickers that are book related, so every chance I get to use them, I love to do that. I have a bunch of book related items in an organizer that I got from Target. I showed it in my Patreon and a few of the vlog videos, but maybe I need to show it my regular YouTube too for those of you who don't follow me on Patreon. And speaking of Patreon, those stickers beneath what I'm using with the book genres, it's a freebie that I gave my Patreons last month. It's still there. Today you can find them. I'm gonna have the link below so you can check it out. And a few of those books were for book club. Olga Dice Dreaming and La Casa in Mango Street. There's also available in English as House in Mango Street. Were book club picks. We wanted to read books for Hispanic Heritage Month. And La Casa on Mango Street, it's pretty good. It's kind of When I Was Puerto Rican, or Cuando Era Puertorriqueña by Esmeralda Santiago, but it's not as good. I felt that it needed a little bit more direction. The essays are a little like all over the place, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. It's just that it was disorganized. I hated Olga Dice Dreaming. If you haven't read it, it's a book about a Puerto Rican growing up in New York, and they trivialized the hurricane way too much, which was very upsetting to me. It's the same sort of dynamic as American Dirt. You shouldn't, if when you talk about tragedies that you were not present at, that you don't have first-hand knowledge, I think that you should either get someone to help you write them or skip them at all, because it's very disrespectful. There's a part where she said that there were people with guns like gorillas handing out food, and that was so gross to read, because a lot of the people helping were like grassroots movements that were peaceful, and in churches and things like that. So it was something that really bothered me when I read it. So I don't recommend it. There's people who love the book. I always say that, you should try it out, whatever books you want to read by yourself. And whenever someone says, oh, I read that book that you hated, I'm actually kind of glad, because it sucks when you have limited time for reading and then you read it and it sucks. It's like when you eat a bad cupcake, like you want back those calories and the time that you spent reading. So good. You didn't wasted your time with this book. You enjoyed it. That's nice. The sticker with the girl with glasses is from Damask Love, but the little girl that is reading, it's from Pipsticks, and I'm just gonna go between those in this layout, and I'm still shuffling things around. This 12 by 12 pad is actually one of the project pads, so it has die cuts and stickers and other things. And now I'm gonna try to rearrange my books a little bit better so they fit. I know that the most important thing in this layout is the books, but I also like decorating the pages. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. I could just write this on a notebook or something like that. So that's something that I really enjoy, and I decided to glue these down, and then I can add more stickers. I can add the rating stickers that I made with my silhouette, and also the Everyday Explorers digital stamp. And I love these bookmarks, and I thought that they went perfect with the books. And it's tricky when they have words, because they are either vertical or horizontal, so it's kind of tricky to add. And I love those little books, like sticker books. I think I got that one from Tuesday Morning, and the Tuesday Morning near my house closed, which is such a bummer, because I got a lot of good deals there. And I'm just going to use these dots to add other stickers to this layout. And I love using these tweezers that I think they come in a Cricut toolkit. And these stickers are from Syncopation, but it's a digital collection, so I made them with my printer, some sticker paper from Online Papers, and my Silhouette Cameo 4. And I'm going to link the items that I can find below. A bunch of them are quite old, but the rest you can find. And I love that I made this little sheet, but now what I need to do is make a sheet similar to this one with book club picks, because last year my book club read a lot, and this year we started a little slow, but we're getting better, so hopefully I get to use the stickers a lot more. And to fill out the little boxes, I'm using the Tombow Twin Tone markers. I'm using the fine tip. You could color the whole thing with a brush tip or other markers. I just like the texture of doing this little cross hatch effect. And I love I'm Glad My Mom Died, and a lot of people are like turned off by that title, but if you read her story, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm glad too. Her mom was awful. And that's Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography. She is Sam in iCarly, which is a show my kids love, and I feel so guilty every time I watch the show because she went through so much, and all the adults in her life felt her so bad. It was ridiculous. I was mad constantly while reading this book. Actually, I didn't read it. I listened to the audiobook, and she's a very good narrator. There's a part where she like imitates Miranda Cosgrove, and I was like, oh my god, it sounds just like Miranda Cosgrove, which is Carly in the show. But yeah. Now that I have the most important parts, which are the books and the ratings, I can add a few more stickers. Those hollow stickers remind me of the Hello Kitty store. They always had a few packs that looked like that. Man, I miss the Hello Kitty store. Or the Sanrio store, whatever you call it. It's been a while since I've seen one or gone there. Which is more dangerous now because I'm an adult and I have more money, but hey. And I'm gonna leave it like this so you can see a little bit of the pattern paper in the back, since I covered so much of that. And now this side is going to be a lot more creepy. I read 2 mystery books. You can consider Mexican Gothic a horror. And I love Grimoire Noir. I think it's the name of the graphic novel that I read that was recommended to me by my oldest kid. I read a lot of the things that my kids recommend, or I listen to audiobooks with my little one. This paper is so cute, and it's from the Goosebumps collection from Pretty Little Studio, designed by Ashley Horton, and it has one of my favorite papers in the whole Pretty Little Studio shop. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to add the adhesive. And it just has a bunch of like Halloween related words and items. And I love the texture too. I still have like scraps from that collection and I cannot let the scraps go. I do have a few more papers though, but it's such a good collection. And I also wanted to use the ghost because both books mention ghosts. And these alphas are ancient. They're like easily they're older than like they're around 7 years or something like that from Freckle Fawn. And I love them because they are super big and they are vellum and you can use adhesive on them and the adhesive won't show through too much. I was just looking for a P. That's a bad thing about this loose bag of alphas when you have to find one. And all of my layouts are pretty different and I don't mind that at all. I like to play around with paper and textures and all that. So it's very unusual for me to make a collection that is very, very like matchy. I don't think I ever made a project using the same products from the beginning to the end. I do have like for special projects some products that I use more often, but it's like not the same thing always. And I didn't want to cut out or cover the ghost, so I strategically, oh my god, I can't talk today, glue the book covers so I can add the ghost. I also like to mat with paper the journaling, and what I usually do is that while I read, I write down a few thoughts using the notes app on my phone, and then when I'm gonna print the journaling, I usually take a few months and do all of those months and stuff like that. And I wanted to mimic that paintbrush stroke on the top, so I decided to take paint, and this paint is from the dollar section at Target and it dries really fast, and for $1 I think it's very good paint, and I just wanted to show through a little bit. I didn't want to cover the whole thing. I really like this paper, so I don't want to cover the spooky elements on it, but I do wanted the corners to look a little bit like to have very clear brush strokes and have texture. And I added a little bit on the left too. And I'm going to use this Heidi Swapp. I don't even know the name. It's a Color Shine, I think it is. It's just Inky Quill ruined it for everyone, and now it's called the Heidi Shine. I don't think whatever you use, it's the Heidi Shine. But this one is like green. It's supposed to be pure green, but it has like an undertone of gold. So depending on what side, how you look around it, it's going to change the color. And I wanted to do a few splatters, so I just added a little bit of water. And I just used an acrylic block. I didn't get my mixed media mat or anything, which I have one. I should have used it, but it is what it is. Then I had to do something that same day, so I just let it dry, and the next day went back to work. That way I make sure that everything is really dry instead of like touching around. And I'm not the biggest fan of using a heat gun. Sometimes it can move the ink splatters or change the texture, so I'd rather leave it to dry naturally. And these are also from Syncopation, the stickers. The one that I added said book pick. Another one that I need to make like a whole sheet of those two things. Book pick. And I'm so glad that I did that whole sticker sheet. And the good thing is that the digital stamp is around $6. So if you make your own, that's going to be like a staple and it's going to work forever. And you can make them in any size that you want. So this is naturally a little bit bigger than the one I made here, but since this book is pretty small, it's 4x6, I decided to make it really small. And this is actually my second book. I already have a flip through of part 1. I'm also wanted to use washi tape to layer it, and I'm gonna use those stickers with the ghost. Those I got at Target last year and a few years before in the greeting card section. Mexican Gothic mentioned mushrooms, and I wanted to add one of those mushrooms from Pip 6, but it just wasn't working. And since this is like a spooky thing about supernatural stuff and ghosts and dead people, I decided to use that sticker. Another reason why I love using digital stamps, I have a lot smaller version, and then I have that big one, and it just works out perfect. And these are little sheets, sticker sheets that I made with book sayings. I just wanted to add any good reason to add a few more ghosts works for me. So when I was coloring with the Jelly Roll pen, I accidentally smudged it with my hand, so now I'm gonna cover it with a star. But after using the Jelly Roll pen, I used some metallic brush pen from Dollar Tree. And I love these emoji faces, and I wanted to put one that looked like surprised or scared. And here is the close-up and some pictures. I hope you enjoy this process. I am loving this little book journal. It's so satisfying to do, and I hope you're enjoying the videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having an awesome day. Bye.